Greetings Internet and welcome to Aaron Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well today. This will be, now let me see, this will be episode 5 of my ambush playthrough. Yes, because I did introduction, first operations phase, first action video, second action video, and now we're back to operations. So, yeah. The last German, well, the only German that's been on the board, he slung his hook. I believe, narratively for me, he's going to report it back to one of his NCOs or officers. But that brings us back to the operations phase. So hopefully I can get more movement, or it could be a very quick operations and go straight back into actions. We shall see. Let's look at the map board. And if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Any comments much appreciated. And that little notification dingling. And here we are, back in the operations phase, so I can activate pretty much any soldier I want to, and then do all the paragraph checks and such forth. We're up to condition 4, that never goes back, so we're now checking for each hex of movement, and I don't want to lose command of some of these guys. So we're going to move Bell, put him into a crouch, bring him into H18. Now, has H18 been checked for before? It has. But it had the word event, and that could now be important. So let's just go back and make sure that hasn't changed. But H18. Yes, so there's the word event. Now I have to roll. It doesn't give me an event number, so I have to roll for the event. And I roll 7 and 6 is 13. What is event 13? Paragraph 320. Well, this could be short-lived, couldn't it? 320. If German 2 has been removed from play by evasive movement, once an active US soldier is in sight of hex T3, activate the German in that hex. Well, we haven't had German 2. This dude was German 2. Alright, so if German 2 has been removed from play by evasive movement, that was him moving off the board, once, and an active soldier is in sight of hex T3. Ooh. Okay, so I'm assuming this is where he's moved. So where's T3? Well, I need to zoom out on this. Okay, T3 is way over there. Oh, I don't think anyone's got a line of sight to him. No, he's on the lower level. We've got a hill in the way. Okay, so if a German has been removed from play, yeah, he's done that. And once an active US soldier is in sight of hex T3, activate the German in that hex crouching. So this is a, oh, we have to keep track of that. That's interesting. So I'm assuming that's in effect at all times. So I've got to be careful, because we know that that dude was a bit nasty. Anyway, let's zoom back on what I was doing. So that was Bell moving forward. Campbell goes into a crouch as well. And he moves forward. He crouches forward. Won't be an additional. Well, it could be, I suppose. I18, I19. Just say event. We haven't activated an event there. Let's double check. I19. Now we have to roll dice, don't we? Do. I know, first of all, I'll check, make sure that it is I19. It's an event. Roll the dice. This time we get 2. 2 on the event table. Which says paragraph 011. Oh, that's interesting. Possible random artillery strike. I hope it hits T3. Roll percentage dice, reading the lower digit as the tens number and the higher digit as the ones. Reading the... Okay, so rolling percentage dice. And I roll 3 and an 8. So the lower digit as the tens, so it's 38. This is different from the normal way you read percentage dice in that you do not declare the tens before rolling. If the result is 25 or less, roll again. It wasn't, it was 38. Okay. I don't think I do. If either die rolls higher than the limits listed above, the artillery strike occurs off the map. Your soldiers hear a distant explosion. Where was that coming from? And more importantly, whose was it? Ours or theirs? Need to place an event marker in that hex. Okay. Bella's moving forward now. Again, and he's moving into I18. Whereas there's nothing going on in there. He gets... Come on, old chap. Stand up. Or at least crouch. Go on, move forward. So Evans moves forward into K19. Wish this part was a little bit quicker. That's none. Evan sees nothing and he calls Bell forward into J18. There's nothing happening. Camel then moves forward into J19, which we need to check for. J19. Oh, it says event. It says say event. And this time we roll a 12. RE on the 12. Oh, that's saying sighting 7, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it says the US soldier with the highest PC, the perception, that can see hex Q10. Where's Q10? That's OPQ 7, 8, 9, 10. That's there. I don't think anyone can see that. See that hex? No. All my guys are. Well, there's this hell, there's crest lines in the way, so no, there's no one can see there. And if I've got no one that can see it, it don't happen. Though I do get to place an event marker in that hex. Okay. I'm going to move Fitzpatrick forward. Actually, I'm going to stop there with the assault team and move on back on with Ambrose's fire team. Just realised you probably couldn't see what I was looking at there. So there's Q10. I'm putting the pink cube in there, which is behind this hill where there are crest lines. So no one can see that. Hence why I'm ignoring that event but putting an event marker. Got to realise that what I can see is sometimes what the camera can't. So I've got to keep checking the camera. Right, so we're on to Ambrose. Okay, let's get moving. And he looks at Gibson, who goes into a crouch, moves through the Dillon. There's an event marker in there, so nothing will occur now. Moves into Ambrose's hex. Nothing will happen now. Moves into this event hex. Nothing happens, and then pauses. Dillon then moves forward through here, and then pauses. Finally, Ambrose moves up into here. So we have three dudes. Ambrose then moves forward again and goes into this hex here. Paragraph check on that. That's E18. None. So Ambrose waves Hudson on and tells him, "Get down, crouch lad." So Hudson moves into this hex here, F17. There's no activity there. And he moves on again, and he moves into... I say I wish these numbers were a little bit clear. G15, G16, G7, G18. G18 is also none. Dillon moves forward. Joins Ambrose. Whoops. And come on, lads. Moves into F18. That does say event. And we roll 9. Event 9. Paragraph 128. Okay, event 128 is German vehicle. Begins moving from hex N12. Activate German 19 in the hex. Commence rounds, go to condition 5. Okay, so let's go and find what that card is. What vehicle are we looking at? Okay, quite a lot happens with this card. So let's see if I can bring it into a little bit of focus there. Okay. So it's a Kugelwagen, which is placed in N12. Let me just double check that. N12. And it has two Germans in it. S and M. S being the driver and M being an officer. S has an initiative of 3. the driver initiative of 3, the officer initiative of 4. And then they've got various stats now. Bringing that back in, let's see if we can really focus on that. So you can see he's got, if the officer is captured, +3 victory points. It doesn't give me any victory points other than if I capture the officer. If questioned, conduct an event check, then see a paragraph. And actions for this group depend on which of the following are not active. So it then gives me options and it tells me where to go. So it's not following a condition chart on this particular card. So that's the only thing we've got active. Now also it told me to go to 1 to 8, commence rounds, go to condition 5. So if we move out there, condition 5, the very first thing I've got to do is remove all these event markers. Okay. They're all gone. So after removing all the event markers, I then change the condition sheet to condition 5 in the mission cartridge viewing sleeve. And I also marked on my squad record that condition 5 is now active. The next stage I'll do is check all these hexes to see, starting in lowest numerical order, to see if anything is or becomes active as well. So we'll be starting with D17. It tells me D17 S1 1110. This is spotting or sighting 1110, which is roll 1 die, 0 to 8, no effect, place an event marker. Let's have a look what we roll. We roll an 8, so we place an event marker. The next hex, that was 17. Any other 17s? No. So we'll do E18 with Ambrose. E18. Also says, it says the word event. That means there is no event. Well, I do place an event marker. No, I don't. No, I don't. Nearly. That's what I did wrong last time. Okay, so that's E18, F18. Nothing there. We then have G18. That says event. Okay, I was supposed to be remembering where to place these event checks. So when it says event, okay, so I'm going to have to quickly go back over that. So E18, yeah, I just had to double check. So that said event, there is no event, but you place an event marker. That one was definitely a none, and I think this one was an event. So we place, so again, there's no event. I just place an event marker. Oops. And then, so that was an 18. We've got another 18 here. That's J18, which uses the word event. So it gets a counter, not upside down. There it goes. Then we've got 19s. I always start, it just says it place it in numerical order. If they're all on the same number, I then go in alphabetical order. Didn't say anything about that, but that's what I'm doing. So I19. None. J19. Another event. And then finally K19. None. Okay, so that gets us to the start of the rounds. The active German unit no one can see, so therefore no one is aware. Perception checks for each US soldier who can see German soldiers. Actually, I might double check that. Hold on there. What about Gibson? Okay. He's looking straight down that hex row. There is no... remembering that he's on the same level as that Kubelwagen with the Germans. So actual fact, he can see it. What about Ambrose? Whoops. No, the other woods is in the way. This woods here is in the way, which will pretty much block everybody else. But Gibson can see. So we've got to make a perception check on Gibson. But Gibson's perception is only a 2. He's not great. He rolls an 8. He ain't got a clue. Clueless Gibson. So I've placed all the American guys over here. I put them in the unaware space. The Germans are aware. There's no event phase on the first round, and I've got to mark this that we are doing the first round. Initiative. As my guys are unaware, I'll still roll the dice, so whatever. Okay, so I have 6, they have a 9 on the initiative. So that will tell me where to place these markers. So 9 with the advantage. 8, 9. Right, so that's a red 9 there. Germans do not panic if they have red numbers. Only US units that panic. Germans panic via the paragraphs. And he only has 1 round. Okay. So my guys will not be doing anything. And a roll for... yeah, I don't even look at command, they're just sitting there. Roll for a new German action turn. So I have to roll for the action number, which will be 4. Though I don't believe with this card they will be using action numbers. That fills in that chart. So I'm just reading all the notes on this. So actions for this group depend on which of the following are not inactive. Both Germans are active. So it says non-inactive, go to paragraph 826. Officer inactive, 826 as well. Driver inactive, 814. Kubelwagen inactive, 802. And Kubelwagen one-man inactive, 813. Therefore, with that, I'm reading that as non-inactive, 826. So the die roll here at the present moment is having no effect. So let's bring this back to what's going on here. So I'm looking at paragraph 826. If vehicle has been fired upon, drive fast. If vehicle has never been fired upon, drive slowly. The rules for the vehicles, or the stats, are on the back of the rule book. So I've got all the Jeep Kübelwagen stats on there. So it's telling me it's a small vehicle, non-armoured. Maximum occupants is 4. And it tells me there, slow movement point allowance is 5. So it's got 5 movement points because it hasn't been fired upon. Then there's a hit chart, and then damage effects we'll look at once those occurred. So I know it's got 5 movement points. Therefore, we've now determined that the vehicle is moving, and it's moving slowly. So it's got 5 movement points, and I now need to refer to where it actually moves. Now, this is interesting. Has this actually got 2 actions or 1 action? S is the driver, and he's driving, so the vehicle's moving. So I suggest it's actually got, I'll probably need to double check, but let's see where it moves as its first hex of movement. So I would look up this hex, which we know is N12. N12 takes me to, it's got 2 colours. The one in red, which denotes movement, it tells me to go to paragraph 163. So I'll go to paragraph 163. All right. Okay. If vehicle is moving, enter hex 012. If soldier moving, N13. Well, we know it's a vehicle, so it goes into 012, which would be down that embankment. So at least places the vehicle going in the right direction. I'll just need to check, do I face vertices? Sorry, face or vertice. Vehicles face a face, not a vertex, so that's its front. That's the hex it will move into. So going down an embankment, I just need to check the terrain course. It's going down an embankment. Vehicle embankment hex side up only is +2, so there's no effect, so that's just 1 movement point that it's expended so far. Okay, I must admit I am re-familiarising myself with vehicle rules. I hadn't expected a vehicle. I was expecting a vehicle to come up sometime in this scenario because the vehicle rules were before this scenario described, but I hadn't expected it to come up so quickly. So I haven't double checked the vehicle rules. So what I've done incorrectly on this is the 2 counters are meant to be under the Kübelwagen, and the driver has to be the top of those 2. So that's the correct stacking, as it were. They could change, soldiers can change place in vehicles or get out of the vehicle at any time during operations or by expending movement points during rounds. Well, it hasn't instructed me to do so. Stance is irrelevant. So I'm assuming as the driver has got 2 actions, he will get to drive twice. If it was the driver and he only had 1 turn, then it will only move once. So I now check the next. So he's currently now in 012. I will check that paragraph again. All right, so it's now telling me to go to P12. P12. So it turns and goes to P12, and that's 2. Can't see anything in the rules that says making a facing change across movement points. It's going slow. Actually, I could check the chart. There's getting in and out, stance change. There's nothing about facing change. Okay. So we're now in P12, and he spent 2 movement points. Where does he go now? Q13. He carries on straight there. That's open ground. So that's now... Why can't I find 3? Let's just double check that open ground is 1. Yes, that's 3. So he's now in Q13. Okay, Q13, he now goes to R13, which is this X here. So that's 4. And then from R13, he goes to R14. So he's turned onto the road and gone there. And that's his 5 movement points so far. So let me go back to this chart here. This drops to here. He's done so. There's none of my guys going, no disadvantage, so we might as well continue with his movement. So he's currently now in R14. Let's remove the dice. Yeah, there's no point doing a re-die roll there because if you're looking at this, it says not inactive. Look at 826. We know 826. I better double check, make sure that doesn't change. 826. Vehicle has been fired upon? No. If vehicle has never been fired upon, drive slowly. So they're aware, because they obviously saw Gibson. They're aware, but they're you know, it's one soldier, so they're not rushing. So R14. I do know my alphabet. So it goes to S15. So they're on the road. They go around that corner there, and that's first movement point. That's S15. We're now into S15. That time we go to T15. Are they going to be exiting the map? That's 2. From T15, go to U16. Okay, so that's 3. From U16, let's go to V16. That's 4. And then from V16, it says go to W16, driving along that road. Okay, moving fast. W16, that's his 5 movement points done, which would then move the driver down to complete, and the officer, there's no separate instructions for the officer. He's not inactive. No. So he'll go down there. And that finishes the first action round. And I'm going to end this video at that point because I want to double check the vehicle rules. Let me come back up. Well, I did mention in the earlier videos there's going to be vehicles at some point in this scenario because they went through the vehicle rules before the scenario in the book. Obviously my deep dive of the rules, I haven't got anywhere near vehicles, so I haven't reread the vehicle rules as yet in detail, which I will do now before the next video. I think I've done everything. It does get each vehicle count has an arrow that points towards the hex side. I should have read that first. Yeah, it doesn't cost anything to face change. Otherwise, he would have been a bit further back. So yeah, I've got to read the vehicle section of the rules. The deep dive, episode 3.1. Yeah, I think that's about right. Which goes on about the action phase. That's still to come up because I've got the performing the actions and German actions and German action paragraph examples, etc., etc. I've still got to actually film that episode, so I'm going a little bit ahead in the game here, but that's good because I can talk you guys through it, and then when you want to refer to the rules, you can go back and watch those episodes on the deep dive. I thought the operations would go on a bit longer. It was interesting that an event on a hexa definitely had no line of sight to that, but then it was a random roll, wasn't it? So a random roll could bring up anything. So obviously those Germans in the Kubelwagen saw Gibson because there was a definite line of sight there and decided to bugger off, and it looks like they're going off the board. So I'm not sure what that will actually mean. Once they get off the board, there's no other Germans active, so we'll go back into operation. So it could be a very short action round start for the next episode, but then we'll carry on in operations, unless obviously something else activates, because there is an event phase to come before we get to that point. Because in round 1 there's no event phase, but in round 2 there definitely is. So that could be interesting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed what I've done. I mentioned at the beginning before I went down onto the map, please hit the like, it all helps the channel. Any comments, as always, much appreciated. I answer all of them. They make the connection to you, the viewers, and I thoroughly enjoy doing that. Subscribe if you haven't done so and you like what I do. All it helps the channel, the algorithm, and all that YouTube bullshit. Oh, I did it. There we go. Anyway, it is the algorithm and such forth. But anyway, comments, great. Until next time, have fun, enjoy your gaming, bye internet.